about Choi and Zaria in this last episode, but let's be honest, it's been more of Choi this season that we've seen in the last few episodes that they've been on because he's been out and about, and Zaria's just been at home and just made a brief appearance on each episode. And Choi's currently out in Buffalo with his sister, and he is going through it. Like, he has all kinds of anger issues. He's getting really frustrated easily, and I can tell that he hasn't fully healed or really grieved his father or his brother's death. I think, like, especially with his father passing away when he was in prison, like, when you're in prison, you're taught that you have to be strong all the time. You can't show emotion because that's a sign of weakness. And I think he's so used to doing that instead of expressing his emotion in a healthy way that he has all this anger and emotion built up inside, and it just comes out in anger in the worst ways when he gets frustrated. And he's sitting there at his sister's, and his sister was like, well, you're out here by your daughter. I think this is the perfect time for you to hit up your baby mama Yona and try to see if you can see baby Choi. Well, I guess it's more of little Choi, not baby Choi. She's not so much a baby anymore. But Choi was like, I don't know, because Yana said that I have to be anti-Zaria in order to see my daughter. And I don't remember her saying that. Like, unless she said that outside of the show or in a clip that they didn't show. And the clips we saw, she just told him, hey, I gotta work on our co-parenting relationship before we bring anyone in the picture. And I fully agree with that. Like, him and Yana have to be able to have a good relationship, and she has to be able to trust him. He's been in prison all these years. Like, she has to relearn Troy all over again and make sure that he's safe with her daughter. Troy was talking about wanting to take little Troy with him for weeks, like 2 weeks at a time to his house, and then bring little Troy back. But I think he needs to, like, work at baby steps. Like, if Yana's not comfortable with Zaria being in the mix, then he needs to work on trying to build a relationship with his daughter, just him and her. Like, call up his daughter or Yana and try to plan, like, picking her up like once a week or every other week and just take her to the park or go take her to like a bounce house. Or there's plenty of stuff they can do and not involve Zaria. And then once I feel like he takes her enough and they build that rapport, then I feel like Yana will be comfortable enough. And if she isn't, then kind of like what Troy was saying, then she must be bitter. Troy started popping off when his sister brought up the idea of him trying to see his daughter. And he was just getting mad at pretty much Yana for not allowing him to see his daughter. And he was just going off and like having a little mental breakdown for a moment. And I think somebody must have gave Zaria word of it, because Zaria immediately called Troy. And she's like, what's going on? You need to go see little Troy. I'm telling you that's what you need to do. You're not going to sit here and blame me if you don't end up seeing her, because I told you to try to reach out to Yana. This is your baby mama. You're going to have to figure it out if you don't want to sit here and spend thousands to handle it in court. So after he gets off the phone with Zaria and promises her he's going to call Yana, he has his sister call Yona, which I think was a terrible idea. Like, Yana's already talking about how they need to work on their co-parenting relationship. And if you're trying to work on your co-parenting relationship with her, then you need to have these people to call her and feel comfortable enough to have a conversation with her. Because if you can't even feel comfortable enough to let her see your daughter, how do you expect to have like hard conversations in the future about your daughter when it comes to things like discipline and, just like hard choices and having hard conversations that aren't always so fun to have? And Troy has his sister call Yana, and she's like, yeah, Troy's out here. He wants to know if he can see Troy. And Yana was like, no, I don't want her around Zaria. And she's like, well, actually, Zaria's not even here. And she got quiet for a moment, and it sounded like she was kind of thinking about it. But then she said, no. And then all of a sudden, Troy's sister just hung up. She said it's really not her place to sit there and argue with Yona, which I agree. That should have been something that Troy should have been doing. And if Troy called her, he could have asked her and followed up on why she said no. Where I think that would have highly increased his chances of her saying yes if he could just been like, hey, you know, just please, just give me a chance. But I mean, we don't know the full story. Like, was she mad that he called her last minute? Is it she doesn't want little Troy to be on camera? Because I remember her doing a live last season where she acted like that scene where he left her at the bus stop was going to be the last time she was on the show. So was it that? Or if it's just to the point that she doesn't want him seeing her because he's still dating Zaria and Zaria's not around, then I do agree that is bitter. But I just gotta know the full details before I can make a fair assessment, because like I want to know like how often does Troy try to see his daughter when he's not filming? You know, that would be a good question. I want to make sure, like, is he reaching out just as often when the cameras aren't around? Because if not, then I'd be like, okay, I feel like my daughter's just being used as a pawn in this storyline, and maybe she doesn't want to be involved with this show. The only reason I'm kind of thinking that may be a possibility is just because he said like the last time that he had talked to his daughter was a few months ago, and that's when he was last filming, when he left his daughter at the bus stop. So it's like, okay, you haven't tried to reach out this whole time. Like, I would kind of be feeling some type of way if that was Yona, if that was the case. Like, the only time you're reaching out, you're waiting till the camera's around for us to have a conversation. Yeah, that would make me feel weird. But I don't know if that's the case or not. I guess we'll maybe learn more as the season progresses and see if she finally gives in and lets Troy see his daughter. It does seem like he's been able to see his daughter a lot more. I've seen him post her quite often on his Facebook, and it seems like him and Karen are still pretty close. Karen was just at his house on the lake this past weekend, chilling, smoking her weed, high as hell like always. I feel like we're probably going to find out in the next few episodes that Zaria is pregnant. But I'm like, okay, where's the storyline going? His storyline's been a little all over the place. First, he is getting calls from his mom, and he's chasing his mom down. And then his mom's asking him if he wants to smoke some weed. And then he is seeing his dad's grave. And then he's calling Yona. It's all over the place. I almost feel like they're just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. It's like, okay, where do we go from here? Is he going to try to develop his relationship with Yona? I feel like it's going to be him finding out that Zaria is pregnant, and maybe more drama with Mama Karen. You know they're going to bring Mama Karen back. But that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.